Hello, my name is Andreas Sommer and I'm a third year student of European Studies. In the last semester we had to do work for the class called Digital Responsibilities, and for this we need to do a video. And one of the question is how we as a digital native experience the digital world. And over the last 10 years I'd say computers, laptops, and the internet became really important to my generation. We use it to make meetings, to talk to friends, to stay in contact, to show photos, to organize parties, to organize events, and so on. So the internet is really useful and helpful in most of the cases. But of course, there are also many cases of mobbing, for example, internet mobbing, which sometimes happen where people just write something because it's really easy if you just have to type something because you just face a computer. And many people hide behind their computers. For example, they wouldn't dare to do it from person to person, so they use the internet for this, and this already led to deaths of many people who couldn't deal with that situation. Of course, I've never done something like this, but just to say that this is really happening. But in my opinion, the internet and computers have a really positive influence on our lives because it's so much easier nowadays to stay in contact with your friends you met all over the world. For example, I did my exchange in Japan, and until today, I have still contact to my friends there using Facebook, for example, or WhatsApp, Line, which I can use for free. I don't have to pay money for it. This is really convenient for us, and we can send each other pictures, so I exactly know what my friends in Osaka are doing at the moment, and they know what I'm doing here in Holland. And it just takes a few minutes to talk to them, and then everyone's happy, and we stay in contact. It's really nice. For example, some friends are coming over now here, and of course, we organize it how? Via internet, using, for example, Skype, where you can phone for free, because we are all students, and we don't have that much money. And even though if you want to send a letter, for example, to Asia or somewhere, it doesn't matter where, you always have to pay money, and this can really add up. So why should we use all this service for free? And I'm really happy that the internet exists, but there are, of course, it has downsides. And in my opinion, like, my generation is spending too much time online, and Facebook became really important to most of us. And I wouldn't say I'm addicted to Facebook, but I have to admit that when I open my computer, one of the first things I always do is actually check my Facebook because I want to know what my friends are doing. And it's a bit sad because nowadays it seems to be enough that you just graduate, that you just say happy birthday via Facebook and you don't call your friends anymore. And that's a bit sad because 10 years ago, I always called my friends like, hey, happy birthday, and so on. And now I just write on Facebook, and this is generally accepted actually. Of course, for the best friends, I still call them, but for my other friends, and I really have a lot of Facebook friends. And this is a thing I don't like because even though we stay in contact, but it's no personal direct contact anymore. It's just contact through the internet, through Facebook and the other devices. And coming back to Japan, one of the first things when you meet a new person today is you don't ask for the mobile phone number or email or whatever. You ask, do you have Facebook? Are you on Facebook? This is actually nice because then you add the person on Facebook and you can already check out a bit, okay, what this person about, what does he like? Is she interested in sports? Which movies does she like? You can check out the photos, see which friends she has. You can also check which of your friends are friends with her. And it's kind of like stalking. It's how we call it in our generation, Facebook stalking. Mm. And of course, this is helpful at the same time because you get to know a lot of things about this person. But on the other hand, you don't really find those things out by yourself in communication to this person in a direct way. For example, just like talking to her. And this is yeah, it's more or less a negative aspect, I'd say. In my second part of the video, I would like to talk about my interpretation of David Rushkoff's book Program or Be Programmed. And I have to say, it is a interesting book. and I have also some points where I disagree and some points I agree with. But his main message is actually that technology is having biases and that people don't really understand that, and people don't know how to use or how does the technology works, and he's always calling this as a medium. And his main line is, if you're not a programmer, you are programmed, and that civilization always seems to be a step behind. And he uses the examples of text, printing press, and then the digital age with computers, for example. And he's saying that text gave the people Judaism. He related that to religion. That the printing press brought up Protestantism, like when Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press and Martin Luther had his Reformation, and so on. And yet we don't know what the new age will bring us. And this is the first point where I actually have to argue with him. And I mean, the fact that religion was broadcasted using these new tools in that time, like text or printing press, of course, it's true, and I won't argue that. But in our nowadays, religion isn't a part of our life anymore. In most of the Western states or in European states, the state and church is separated, and there, even though religion has still some influences, they aren't that big because most of the people do not really follow the guidelines anymore. Even though we all are educated and raised up with Christian values, at least in this part of Europe, for example, but it's not really important anymore. And that's also why I don't think that the new digital age or technology will bring up a new form of religion, because individualism is really welcomed in our times, and it's not about religion anymore. Anyway, his issue regards to that, and he's saying that in each stage where there was a new medium, as mentioned before, the printing press, text, and so on, civilization always seems to be a step behind, because there are always people who use these tools to talk to the people, and the people are just listening to that. And even though they know how to use these tools, they're not really questioning how or why those tools are used, and they don't use it for themselves. They just listen to them, and which is really interesting. Is one of his points, for example, was that I will just read this out now. It's a quote from him. Understand both programs that we use and the mean sets, the codes we are working with, the symbols, and how we relate to them. If we don't create a society that at least knows a thing called programming, then we will end up not being the programmers, but the users, and worse, the used. And I actually had to think of Terminator in this case, because in the movie Terminator, the machines are taking over the world, and the humans have to fight against the machines they actually created, but they made the machines too intelligent. And I don't know why, but I had to think about it. Anyway, I think this is a really interesting point, because I also have to admit, me myself, I of course use all the tools which are given to me, the internet and computers and so on, but I have no clue how they work, and what is actually behind it. And yeah, it really shocked me a bit, and it made me think about it. And I agree with this point, but on the other hand, I have to say that imagine we all becoming programmers, and this wouldn't work out. And of course, it's weak to use this as an argument, but it's always been like this, that there are people who share their thoughts with writing or whatever, and people are listening to them. Because if every one of us would write, for example, then there would be so much reading to do, and this would be a mess, because there would just be too much information. And of course, not everyone has to say something important. This is okay. People are like this. And my final opinion, or actual opinion, about this is that if we want to participate fully in the digital age, we have to raise awareness and consciousness about what is going on around us, how we are influenced by the technology, how we used it, how does it work, and so on. And if we just use the tools we are giving and we accept those versions about how the tools work, we will miss actually a big opportunity to create something by ourselves and to do and to be active by ourselves, because we all have the tools and we can all work with them. We can all become programmers, and then we don't have to be programmed anymore. Thank you very much for your attention.